Okay. So you're logging into DXFleet, you get an error message. What does that error message mean and why are you seeing? So the first most common error that you may see is nobody's added your user access. So you're trying to log into an email that we don't know anything about or nobody's added you to our workflow yet. So what you would see if somebody enters an email that doesn't exist in our system is, I'm just going to put an email here that doesn't exist. So I'm going to hit next. You're going to say, it's going to say, please recheck your username and email, try again. This means we don't recognize the email that's being entered here. So I would recommend sending a ticket to global support or PW support, have your org admin submit that request and say, hey, I need to have this additional user added and here's the access they need. And then we'll get your user. If somebody adds you to the workflow and you already have that ticket going, but they haven't added you to user management yet, then you're going to see a different error. That error is going to say internal server error. So if you log in, you get internal server error. Most likely it just means that you've been added, but they haven't completed the process yet. So if you get that error, just submit a ticket. Say, I am getting internal server error. It looks like I don't have access yet. Most likely you've been added through an automated workflow process. So maybe your name was on the subscription agreement that ran you through the process, but somebody hasn't taken the additional step yet of adding you to user management, which means that you're there sort of, but you're not completed yet. You would get internal server error. Another issue that you may come across is unauthorized. What does unauthorized mean? Well, unauthorized means that you're going to DXFleet or you go into a DX solution that you do not have access to. So that's different. So that means you're in the system, you have a user, but what you're going to is unauthorized. Usually this is a URL issue. Somebody is trying to log into the extranet for Dope, and they're not logging in to DXFleet. Sometimes that can be confusing because when you get a welcome email from the automated process, when you get added to the workflow, it'll say log into extranet or your DX solution. If you log into extranet and you don't have extranet access, then you will see this because you're not going to DXFleet, you're going to a different application that you don't have access to. In that case, you'll want to just verify that you're going to the right URL for DXFleet to be able to sign in. One other error message that you might get, well, if your user is hanging on this sign-in process. So say you type in your email address here, but nothing happened. You hit next, and it just seems to spin. It seems to load. It's acting strange. You don't know what's going on. And then eventually you'll get this failed to connect to server. Please check your network. What this means is most likely your user is being denied access to the network. Excuse me. So you are being denied access to DXFleet log. Now you're not being denied from us. You're being denied from your local network. It's unable to establish a connection to our server, and most likely that needs to be resolved on your end through your IT or network specialist to be able to open up the ports and URLs that are defined in our whitelist. So in this case, let me just share the whitelist here for you. In this case, our whitelist document's broken down into two sections. We're looking at the user application, and here we have our API call for user management listed here. So we have a port 8452 for user management that needs to be opened for you to be able to communicate with our application. If your network team is blocking just any not standard port, 8452 is not a standard port, then that will be the reason why you're unable to get into DXFleet. Now, one thing you could try is you could try to log into the DXFleet URL on a cell phone, disconnected from your local network. So turn off Wi-Fi and be on the cell connection. Go to DXFleet in your browser, put in the URL and try to log in there. If you can log in on your mobile network, when you're disconnected from the Wi-Fi, then your user count is okay. It's just the network that you were originally signing on where you got the error message that's stopping you from logging in. And again, you would need to talk to IT or your security team to be able to allow your PC to reach out on net port 8452 to be able to communicate to DXFleet. We do have another video on the whitelist to kind of go in over more details on what's required. But for the most part, you just need to reach out to your IT team, share a copy of the whitelist, have them reach out to support so they can get a copy of the whitelist for all the ports and URLs that DXFleet uses to be able to establish a connection. So those are just some of the errors that you may come across when you try to log in DXFleet for the first time. And if you're unsuccessful in logging in, we just wanted to highlight those here so you kind of get an idea of where to go, what the issue might be. So if you have any questions, feel free to submit a ticket. And if you need any additional access or users, please let us know.